Prime Minister, the floor is yours.
First, I'd like to thank the organizer for this really great occasion to present our views and opinions on Albania and Balkans. Balkan is the region which went through very, very difficult times, but also the constant of change of the region is the highest. No region has changed most, from wars to integration, from unfriendship in amities to cooperation. And I believe, I ask myself many times, and I'm deeply convinced that the driving force to our nations was the process of integration. We were dictatorships, countries facing enormous problems from the former regimes, countries facing enormous problems from what happened after the fall of Iron Curtain, but the most vivid and powerful driving force was the integration process. Often I spell out that EU integration, NATO integration were dream projects, and indeed they were dream projects. That's why our nations remain really committed to these projects. I think, they are working seriously in implementing these projects as roadmaps. NATO integration showed to be more straight process because NATO never faced enlargement fatigue. Although, after the fall of Iron Curtain, NATO have had big dilemmas, but it's overcome them and didn't show any fatigue. European Union project, it has a very clear roadmap. If you look at all stages, are excellent roadmaps, but when something happens inside, it seems to turn into a higher zone. Hopefully, because what we represent less than 1% of EU GDP. What we represent less than half of Poland. This is all of our country. Saying that, definitely I'm convinced I'm one that I keep that Copenhagen criteria. EU partnership, EU standards must be fully observed and achieved in our countries in order to deserve the process of stabilization, the process of candidacy, and the process of accession. Because this is by far the best interest of our citizens. In all this process, our society and our citizens become more free. That's the very essence of that. In this context, my government is working hard in reforms. First, we restored the public order. The infamous Albanian organized crime got dismantled. Ladies and gentlemen, more than 206 groups of organizations of organized crime are dismantled and put to justice. More than 900 members of bosses are apprehended. And now, my country is having the indices of criminality much lower than the average of EU member countries. And we could compare. 2.1 murder per 100,000 people. And so other indices. My country was facing serious corruption, systemic corruption. I pledged to Albania a small government. And the government is reduced, the administration is reduced by 33% as administrative employees, 16% as civil servant. I pledged the government in diet. I am happy to announce you that 31% are diminished operative expenses. We are trying to outsource all procedures, to go electronically in others, and the results are spectacular. When you look at the map, you see a small country. It is true that it is small, but it is a country with enormous potentials. Really enormous potential. It is a world-class country on minerals. It's a very important country in water potentials. It's a small Norway in Mediterranean area. More than 20 billion kilowatt hours to be exploited. It's a long cost, 400-kilometer long cost to be built. And it ended. The other part, I leave for question, Doris. Thank you for telling me that.